Questions you should and you shouldn't ask a lady on a date. In this video specifically, we will talk about Eastern European ladies, though of course the majority of my tips, they actually can be applied to dating in the US or dating in Germany. So I want to start with a question that so many people believe to be neutral, like what are your hobbies? And if you right now Google dating tips for the first date or questions to ask on the first date, I would say that the majority of these tips will include asking questions about hobbies. Why? Because it's a neutral topic and usually people like talking about their hobbies, and we all know, I hope we all know by now that you have to bring only light, positive topics because you want to create this special romantic vibes on the date. And I really hope that by now you all know that chemistry is created with your own actions, thirds with your preparations to the date, not actually by your partner or some mysterious butterflies. So we all are responsible for chemistry on the date. So the question, what are your hobbies? It seems to be nice, neutral, because, well, we all do have some hobbies and you can learn something about your partner and what bad can happen if you ask this question. I will tell you now. So the question is actually not bad if a person has really distinctive hobbies, like for example, creating ceramic pots or embroidering or jogging every morning, or for example, lifting weights or collecting stamps. But you will be surprised, so many people, they don't have really distinctive hobbies. And when you ask a question, what are your hobbies? Some people, both men and women, they struggle to answer, like, what are my hobbies? I'm not learning Spanish, I'm not reading historical novels, I'm not planting orchids. Do I actually have any hobbies? Am I that dull? And all these thoughts, they go through the head of your date. And now instead of feeling relaxed and enjoying your company, your date feels interrogated. He or she feels that, oh, I don't know how to answer this question in a smart way. Why did I even come to this date? What is wrong with me? Don't I have any hobbies? Instead of asking, do you have any hobbies or what are your favorite hobbies? Ask, how do you like spending your free time? This is what I usually do with my coaching and matchmaking clients. Instead of trying to put my coaching client in this uncomfortable situation, uncomfortable position when he struggles to think of any hobbies and he starts thinking that, oh, he's so dull, he's a loser because he doesn't have like a real fancy hobby, I ask, how do you spend your free time? And it turns out that after work, my client walks his two dogs, or he goes hiking, or he can watch some Netflix or read a book, he can cook something, or he can finish answering emails because right now he's single. And if you are talking about the lady, after the long working day, she can tidy up her apartment, she can go for a walk, she can meet her friend for coffee, she can read a book, she can just relax in the bars, or she can go to gym. But she doesn't have a really distinctive hobby. So instead of asking, what are your hobbies? Ask, how do you usually spend your free time? How do you like spending your free time? How do you usually spend your weekends? Again, it is a neutral topic and it will help you get to know your date better. It will help you find some information about your lifestyle, about her personality. So it's a little change asking what are your favorite hobbies or how do you usually spend your free time? How do you like spending your free time? But the attitude is different and you create a safer and more relaxed atmosphere. Or another question that so many people believe is neutral, friendly, and nothing can go wrong with this question is, what do you do for a living, or what is your job? Well, because the majority of us, we spend lots of time at our works, we usually like what we are doing. I hope that the majority of people, they actually choose to do what give them joy, and well, it's essential that we talk about things that occupy such a huge chunk of our lives. So we talk about our work. And even when we have filmed a podcast with my fellow matchmaker, Katerina Romanenko, she has suggested this question as a number one because it can help you really get to know your partner better. And I had to contradict her, as I am contradicting many of my fellow matchmakers and dating coaches who actually recommend to ask her about your job, what do you do for a living, so what is your profession. I want to contradict them right here and now. And like always, I have been inspired by my coaching clients, current clients, and my blog on TikTok, because there we had a huge discussion with my followers. And many people see this question as a negative one, because in their eyes, both men and women, this question is translated, so how much money do you earn? And I understand that these people who watch my blog, they do Tinder a lot, and they do Hinge a lot, or any other dating platforms. And of course, they got disappointed, and well, you go out on these dates, you hope that the next Tinder date will turn out to be someone with whom you will go at the second date, third date, you will build a relationship, and it doesn't happen, and you keep investing time, and then you get this question like, what do you do for a living? You are a programmer, you must be earning good money, or you can relocate to any country and you can work from anywhere and earn good money there. And again, you're talking right now about money, about jobs. You're not talking about romance. You're not flirting. And for the first, second date, of course, it is crucially important to be flirting, because then if you were not flirting, you will get this feeling there was no chemistry, because you haven't created it, because you didn't flirt, because you have talked about things that are not appropriate for the first date. So instead of asking, what do you do for a living, or what is your job, you can ask, what do you like most of all about your job, or what do you like most of all about the field you're working at, the field you have chosen to invest such a huge part of your life. And here a person can start telling you that, for example, oh, I'm a travel agent and I feel addicted to traveling and I like learning more about all these new locations. I like talking to people and I have fantastic tourists and I have made lots of friends, and also I get a chance to travel from time to time to get to know new destinations. And it's like traveling and working at the same time. You can learn a lot about the personality of a person who's sharing, for example, why she likes her job. And if you start asking questions like, oh, you're a travel agent, so you must be getting discounts to flights to places, or you must be getting really good prices for hotels, it's not romantic and flirty. Or instead of asking flat out aloud a question like, what do you do for a living, what is your job, or even what do you like most of all about your job, you can ask a question without asking a question by sharing a story. You can tell about yourself that, you know what, I work in IT and I really love it. I have been doing it since I was 17 and I like the flexibility because I can work from home, I can work in the office, I can work from States, I can work from Europe. Also, I meet tons of interesting people. I like solving problems because, well, it's nice to keep your brain in tonus, and I love learning new things. I think it's exciting. And after that, of course, you can ask, and you, or you can continue talking about things you like to do and see you're already sharing something about yourself. You give an example. And of course, your date, she will take the hint and she will share similar information about yourself, and she will ask some questions about you. Very often people ask too many questions on dates because it seems logical to ask questions. You show interest and you try to get to know your partner better, and you can clear awkward silence by asking questions. And also when you ask the question, you kind of throw the ball to your partner and you can breathe out because now she has to struggle with the answer, think of something witty to say, and then she throws the ball to you, and it's like playing tennis. And all these dating experts recommend to ask questions. Well, asking questions is not the only tool one should be using on date. You also can share stories. You also should compliment the lady, and you should flirt. When you're not flirting, just asking questions, it's a job interview. It's not a date. Well, because very often with these questions, people start exchanging meaningless facts from their biographers, like your favorite subject, your favorite color, the book you have just read, and they don't try to dive in deeper, and at the end of the date, they don't remember half of the information they have received about their date, but they feel this frustration that there is no chemistry because they were too busy asking questions. They didn't invest enough time and effort into actually flirting and enjoying the date, so of course there is no chemistry. So if you want to ask a question, try to wrap it up as a compliment. So instead of just telling her that, oh, where did you learn English so well, you can tell her that, wow, your English is really good, or you speak English so well. How did you manage to learn it? And see, she's already smiling because you have complimented her language skills. And of course, for a non-native speaker, well, it takes years to master the language, and people are proud of this achievement. So it's nice to start with a compliment, and also you have asked a question. Also, my advice would be to ask more specific questions. So instead of asking, so tell me about your family, ask her about her favorite family tradition. Or you can ask her, how have you spent Christmas? If, for example, you're meeting in January or February, it will tell you a lot about the lady. Did she go to see her family? Or how do they usually celebrate this holiday? Or she stayed with her friends, and she will tell you about the traditions she has with her friends, so you can learn a lot about a person by asking this question. But when you simply ask, so tell me about your family, what answer do you want to get? Oh, my mother was a dentist and she is retired. My father was a lawyer, he's retired. For example, parents have passed away, unfortunately, 5 years ago. Again, don't go there. Don't ask questions because you believe like everybody are asking these questions. Ask questions that can help you get to know your dating partner better. Also, it is important to dive deeper. If, for example, you have asked her, so Marina, for how long have you been living in Prague? And she tells you that like for 4 years, like I have studied here to get my master's, and after that I got my job. And after that, dive deeper, ask her, so what do you really like about Prague? Or which places do you recommend me to visit? What are your favorite places? And start discussing this. Don't jump into asking her about her education or where she lived prior to Prague. If everything goes well and you create some chemistry on this first date, you will have lots of opportunities to talk about her life prior to Prague or about her education. Don't try to find out everything about her right on the first date, like her university life, her high school life, her kindergarten life, her childhood friends. You don't need all this information on the first date. I hope it was helpful, and I also recommend you to listen to our podcast that we have filmed with my fellow matchmaker Katerina Romanenko. We also have talked about questions you should and you shouldn't ask on the first date. I wish you lots of love. Right now is the time to press like to this video, to subscribe to our channel, and also I recommend you to become a sponsor to support us and to get access to additional videos that we film specially for our sponsors, for Diolli.com friends, lovers and family. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!